chapter 14 is where we're going to be coming from. But I want to share with you, and I don't know how much of that we're going to get into, but I want to talk to you. I don't know how much preaching I'll do, but let me just talk to you. And those of you that are watching by YouTube, Facebook, what have you, we're so glad that you tuned in, and I want to talk to you as well. You know, people need to get serious about it. When you get serious about God, now, I don't believe that many of us would deny. You might not would confess it publicly, announce it publicly, but I don't believe many of us would deny, even though we might not would admit to it, that we serve God, number one, to avoid hell, and number two, to go to heaven, and number three, because we want to be blessed, we want to be touched, and we want to be healed. Now, as you serve God for those reasons, it turns into a love affair. And now you serve Him also because you love Him. But you see, you love Him because He's your Father and you're His child, and you want blessing. You want more. Everybody needs money. Everybody needs money. You can't survive in this world this day and time without money. But the problem is the world has dictated to the church. The world has put up a system of how that people have income. For example, if you're retired, you get a retirement check from a company or from Social Security or whatever. If your mate has passed away, I'm sorry to hear that, but you get a widow's check. And I'm not knocking none of this now. Don't misunderstand me. I'm just making a point how that the system dictates to us instead of us having our eyes fixed on a Jehovah Jireh. Or we have a job, and now we depend on that weekly paycheck rolling in. Or if you're on disability, and of course you can't help that. You know, you've got a check coming in. We've all got a source of income, somehow or another, or you can't even pay your bills. So what we have called ourselves up in doing is not realizing that our eyes are fixed on what the system can do for us instead of what an almighty Jehovah Jireh can do for us. We've got to turn our eyeballs back on God and what God can do for us and not what a system can do for us. I really believe that that's a lot of the reason why. When I came out of an organization, which gave me a place if I, made people mad, it was time to move on because, Tom, Dick, and Harry got mad at something I said. I don't like you no more, we're going to run him off. But folks, that's not even scriptural. That's not, the children of Israel could have never ran Moses off. God didn't put the system that way. You didn't like Moses, you leave. Can I get an amen? That's just the way it was. You see, but man made the system, and now we got a deacon board, and we got a certain set of people. And I went to one church one time, and they said, well, now, pastor, here at this church, we've got groups. And, everybody's got their own little group. I said, I got my group, too. Let me go ahead and tell you right now. And it's me and my God. It's me and Jesus Christ. And if you want to be a part of their group, come on. But I'm not join your group unless your group is a part of that group. But you see, we get hooked up with this organizational religion, and it teaches us humanism and secularism, and we get our eyes on man and what man can do for me. So now I, as a pastor, get run off because somebody gets mad at me. I had one lady one time. She was the Sunday school teacher of the teenagers. We had about 18 youth. And every Sunday morning she'd come in 5 or 10 minutes late for Sunday school. She was a Sunday school teacher. Her daughter was a piano player. And she kept on until finally she's forcing me to have to say something to her. So then I go to her and I tell her, I say, sister, and Lord knows I wasn't ugly. Made her mad. She quit. She left church, and she didn't come back until I left. I even had church people to tell me, Pastor, don't let it bother you. She does every pastor the same way. She said, the day you leave, that next Sunday, she'll be back. This is her history. And by the way, she lived right here. Her driveway went right up the side of the church, and she lived right there. So help me, the Lord hears me. And I'd never asked, but I'm sure when I left she came back. But you see, that's what churches are made of this day and time. If you don't like God said ministries, don't come, because I'm not going nowhere. You see, God will remove me when it's my time to be removed. You see, if you don't like what's being preached and taught here, then go where you can be fed or like what they preach and teach. You see, but we got to get our eyes back on God. When I was in an organization and I'd get run off or chased off or had to leave because of people's animosity toward me, and believe me, that's happened numerous times. Can you believe them trying to get mad at me, bro? Well, an organization would give me another place to go preach. Well, then you go there and you try out. And if they like you, they'll vote you in. And if they don't like you, they'll try out another one. Wow. First, we got to get our eyes on God. That's right. If my eyes are on you, I can only get what you got. Exactly. If your eyes are on me, you can only get what I got. I don't have enough to satisfy you. You don't have enough to satisfy me. You see, but God's got a vast supply, enough to satisfy us all. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, from where comes my help. My help comes from the Lord. My provision comes from the Lord, which made the heavens and the earth. Hallelujah to the Lamb of God. But nothing leaves heaven till something leaves the earth. I've run people off from this church talking about money. I don't take no money from this church. I don't take no money. Folks, if I was up here for money, I wouldn't be up here. I'd go get me a real job, man, that pays some money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got enough sense about me to go make some money. There's professions out here. There's all kinds of ways now that they make somebody create a little bitty baby and become millionaires. There's all sorts of ways nowadays to make money. I certainly wouldn't be up here. Shout. Be real with me. Amen? So, God help us. God help us. God has made it to where you got to use your faith to get what He's got. That's right. And nothing will leave God's hand until something leaves your hand. Nothing will leave God's heaven until something leaves your world. Now God already put in your world everything you'll ever need to get what He's got. But we live in such lack. I don't live in lack. I used to live in lack. I could blow your brain. I could keep you here all afternoon and blow your mind at how good God's been to me in the past few years over money. It disturbs me. And here's how wrong we know the church world is. People will get mad at a preacher for preaching a message for 45 minutes about money. And they'll get up on Monday morning and bust their fanny for 40, 50 hours trying to get it. Instead of taking what God said and applying the principles of God. Listen, you can apply the principles of God. God uses money as a reward system. Listen to Psalms chapter 112, verse 1, 2, and 3. Praise ye the Lord. Blessed is the man that fears the Lord, that delights greatly in His words, in His commands. Verse 2. His seed shall be mighty upon earth. The generation of the upright shall call him blessed. Listen. Verse 3. Wealth and riches shall be in His house. That's right. God uses money. If you will obey my word, if you will obey what I say, if you will keep my commands, I will bless you with wealth and with riches. That's right. Poverty is linked to sickness. Poverty is linked to disease. Poverty is linked to the devil. Poverty is linked to hell. Blessings are linked to God. Wealth is linked to God. prosperity is linked to God. I read a church sign right over here by my house, and I love it. I've had people say, oh, you're one of them there prosperity preachers, aren't you? Well, had you rather me preach to you about poverty? You seem to be doing a good job on that, with that yourself. I would like an email trap with that. Come on, can I get an amen? The church sign there by the house says, everything God touches multiplies. Were you not made in His image? Were you not made in His likeness? Well, glory. We need everything you touch. I can even give you scriptures. Psalm chapter 1, verses 1 through 7. Everything you touch shall prosper. Don't live beneath your privileges. Don't live beneath your blessing. But don't mock a prosperity message. Listen, you can't smirk or sneer at a Benny Hinn preaching about healing and expect God to heal you.
That's right.
You can't smirk or smear or snort and stomp at a man, at a preacher preaching about the prosperity and the blessing of God and expect God to bless you.
That's right. Amen.
How's that going to happen? God uses His Word as a motivation. God uses money. I put all my money in that. Where'd I put my money? I had some money. God uses money. Folks, it's crazy. It's crazy. Don't get mad about a preacher preaching you about money. The offering, I don't even ever know how much the offering is. I don't even try to keep up with it. Don't care. You know what? I'm so fixed on God, that don't matter. You know what? My eyes are fixed on God. He's going to take care of all of this. So why should it get my attention?
That's right.
Why? God said I'll take care of it. So my eyes are right there. God hears me. I don't know what's in the bank. I don't know from one Sunday to the next what dollars were took up, whether it be $1 or 1,000. I have no clue. Don't even care to know. I'm fixed on a Jehovah El Shaddai, an all-sufficient God. And I'm also fixed on a God that said I'll meet your every need. Glory be to God. Why do people get so out of shape? That people quit coming to church because I preached about money. And then you're going to get mad if your check don't post that night. On the net, give him a call. Give me that number. Where my check didn't post? Where's my money at?
Exactly. That's right.
Yeah, because you need it so bad because you're just that broke.
Exactly.
I'm just telling you the truth. Been there, done that. You're not looking at a broke preacher. Should I apologize? Did you know I've been around people that made me feel like that I needed to apologize for the blessing of God over my life? I've never done it, and I never will. Oh, glory. I can't blame God for blessing me. All I need to do is rejoice and be glad because I discovered God said I will reward those that walk upright before me, those that walk in obedience to my word. Poverty and shame come to those that deny my word, but wealth and riches come to those that delight in the words of the living God. That's the Bible. If you want to buck it, buck it. If you want to refuse it, refuse it. But then don't get mad at me if I move forward in divine prosperity. Hallelujah to the Lamb of God. Glory, glory, glory.
That's it. That's it.
Malachi, chapter 3, verse 10. I actually begins at verse 8. I can quote it all the way through 12, but I won't. In verse 10, he said, bring ye the tithe into the storehouse. Now that's for our sake. Oh, the preacher preaching about tithes. I'm sorry, you got to correct your attitude. I'm not preaching about tithes to get your tithe. I don't know who pays tithes and who don't. I don't concern myself with it. I started pastoring in 1985. At every church that I went to, I had the right and the authority to get the church books and take them home with me, study over them, look over them. Oh, this one page 5, and that one don't. I've never looked at the books. I even told the church clerk, he said, here's the books. He said, here, I'll bring the books for you. Don't want them. Don't want them. And I don't want them because I want to be able to look at you and not know whether or not you pay tithes, so that you won't think when I look at you and say something about tithing, yeah, he ugly preacher, he meaning that wasn't me. And you know what? I bet you a whole lot of people thought that, never even knowing I don't know whether you tithe or not. I'm not here for your, this is for you. God said it's for you. You know why I know he said it's for you? Because God says so in verse 11. He said, and I will rebuke the devourer for your sake. For your sake. You need the devil rebuked up for your finances. And that's what God's promised to do when you do your part and obey the word of God. It's not about a preacher preaching about money. It's about an attitude of speaking people, thinking, born-again believers, thinking that greedy preachers want money. You know, I can't speak for other preachers, but I can tell you this, and may God strike me dead in this pulpit if I'm lying. I say it because I hurt for other people so badly, to see people struggle, to see them in pain, to see them not being able to put food on the table. The little kid needs shoes. We went in a department store yesterday. There was a family there with 2 little boys, and they were walking around with cars, and I've done this before. And little cars in a box, and they both had one, and I was under the impression that the parents couldn't afford it, they couldn't get little boys toys. And I asked my wife, because I was going to ask the parents, could I buy the little boys little cars for them? And Donna said, no, I think they're both going to get one, because I thought just one boy was going to get one. But you see, it takes money to do this. It takes money to do that. Had you rather be on the giving end or the receiving end? I'd rather be on the giving end. I'm not even a good receiver. You know, you want to look down on me? I don't even take money well. I've had people have to make me take money. Ask God, ask my wife, I'm not lying. I've had people have to force me to take money. I'm not about your money. I'm trying to help you to get out of poverty. I'm trying to help to show you a way out. No. God, I got to go. Go to verse 16. I'm going to go ahead and skip right to the chase here. This is the story about the little boy's lunch. The story about the little boy's lunch. Remember the little boy's lunch? 5 loaves, 2 fish. Remember that? When it was evening, verse 15, him and his disciples came to him, and they were in a desert place. Now John the Baptist had just been chopped off, and the disciples got his body up and took him to buried his body. And his head too, for that matter, which it was taken to Herod in the charger on the plate, on the silver platter. But they went and told Jesus, and Jesus said, get in the boat and let's go yonder. Just get away, let's have a little solitude, you know. John the Baptist, he just lost his head, you know. He wanted to comfort and console his disciples. Let's just have a little prayer meeting with just us 13, you know what I'm saying? So that's what he was doing, which Jesus knew. But as they were traveling by the boat to go to a solitude place, there was a crowd of people walking the dirt path, the beaten path, to find out where, to discover, to keep up with, to arrive to be where Christ was at. That's how much they wanted to be in the presence of God. We got people that won't even get up and go to a nice, pleasant house of God. They won't even go sit in a nice chair under a nice air conditioner and hear a man speak a word of God. A man of God speak a word of God into their lives. And when they do, if he speaks on prosperity, if he preaches on money, if you don't preach what tickles my ear, shame on you. I'll vote you out. It's the truth. But these people cared so much that they met there in the desert place. Make a long story short, after 3 days there, the disciples said, send the multitude away. It's getting late. No doubt they're getting hungry. No doubt they're in need. Are you in need? My God said he will supply your need. He's not a liar. What am I doing? Come on. He's not a liar. What am I doing? If you've got need that God's not supplying, if you've got need and God just don't seem to be sure, you must be doing something wrong. Don't mean to be ugly. I've studied this out my entire life. Sure, they were in need. The disciples said, put them away, let them go get their own. Jesus said, no. What do we have among us? Folks, you've got something in your life. Moses had a rod, a stick. David had a slingshot. The Apostle Paul had a handkerchief. You've got something that you can trade by faith and say, here God, and give to God to get what you need. God made it that way. You want scripture? 2 Peter 1 verse 3. 2 Peter 1 verse 3. God has already given you all things that you'll ever need. That applies to godliness and living. So here they are, and they're in need. Jesus said, well, what do we got? What do we have in our midst? Peter says, well, we got a little more than 5 loaves and 2 fishes. Have you ever wondered why 5 loaves and 2 fishes? They give you some numbers here. Honey, would you get that up and going for me, please? I got to be quick here. I don't want to be too long. I'm seriously working on trying to cut back in time. Listen, folks. The Holy Spirit of God authored this book. Now, we're few this morning in church, but perhaps many more watching by way of video. So, take something out of this. Don't smirk at a preacher telling you can be healed, because next week you might need healing. Don't smirk at a preacher telling you how to prosper, because next week you might go broke and need money. You probably are there right now. And if you are, apply don't you know God knows that you need money? Don't you know that God knew in the beginning of time that we would come to a system where we've got Social Security, where we've got Medicaid, Medicare, where we've got retirement plans, where we've got 401ks, where we've got the government to help us out, where we've got everything that we need, where we've got jobs, where we rely on a check and depend on a check. Don't you know God already knew this? God knows all things, known to God are all of his works from the beginning to the end. What is that? Acts 15:18, I'm pretty sure, or 15:28. Remember, together are all of his works. So God knows. God knew. If you will not buck, but believe what God said, it'll work for you. The Holy Spirit is the author of this book. Well, then, why did he put 5? The little boy, mother didn't just happen to do it. God did it. Why did he put 2 fishes? The little boy's mother didn't do it. God did it. The Holy Spirit did it. Look what the Scripture says, verse 16. Jesus said, they need not depart. Give you them to eat. Listen, Jesus is practicing what he preaches. What he's saying is, I've got the faith, but the supply will be met. He said, give you them to eat. He didn't say, well, how much you got? We got several thousand here, you know. We got about 20,000, looks like to me, in all estimation, 15,000, 20,000 people. How much food you got there? No, he just said, feed them. You see, that's an act of faith. You got to move your faith. Your faith got to move God. Until you move your faith, the faith is dead. Faith without works is dead. James 2:26 tells us that the body without the Spirit is dead. So faith without works is dead. So you think about that for a moment. God help me. God uses the body without the Spirit as being a dead body. And faith that's not used in works of faith. Now, I know we're under grace, but you still have to work your faith. And he uses a body being dead without the Spirit. So faith without works is dead. Think about that. Jesus said, give them to eat.
He didn't say, how much we got? We got enough? He says, give them these. And they said unto him, there's a little boy here with 5 loaves and 2 fishes. He said, bring them hither to me. Now we hit the meat of the bone. Now we tapped into something here. Bring them hither to me. You got to give what you got to God. As long as you keep it yourself, it's the most it'll ever be. It'll never multiply. It'll never get more. It'll never attract more. It'll never be nothing but be what it is. And if what you've got isn't enough to be a harvest, it must be a seed to plant for the harvest of God. Oh, my. Listen what he said. He said, we have 5 loaves and 2 fishes. Bring them to me. You've got to give what you've got to God and let God get involved in your household. You've got to give your income to God and let God get involved. With God got involved, God says, well, okay, I'll just watch you suffer. And God's watching a lot of people suffer. He's watching a lot of his children do without because they're not using its faith. And faith is what moves God. So God says, well, if you want to suffer and not use your faith, then use your faith, not use your faith and suffer. But if you use your faith and bring it hither to me, I'll bless it and I can supply your need. You see, you can't even go to heaven without giving God authorization. Can't do it. You can't go to heaven unless you give God authorization to come into your life and save your soul. It's the same way financially. Until you give God authorization, and the way you do that is not with words with the soul. The way you do it is with money and other sources is acts of faith. It was an act of faith. Bring me the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes. Give them to me. Folks, you got to give what you've got to God. Look what he says. He blessed it. He broke it. He prayed over it, in other words. He broke it, and he distributed it back. I got to hurry through this message here now. The numbers and the meanings are great significance of these scriptures. The purpose that the Holy Spirit would have purposely put that there. It is multiplication. Deuteronomy chapter 1 verse 11 lets us know that God wants to increase you 1,000 times more. Read Psalms chapter 115. You will discover that God wants to bless you. He wants to bless your children. He wants to bless your children's children. And not only that, but the Holy Spirit says more. He wants to bless you more. And then there's a comma. And then he says, and more. Can you imagine that? That God himself would repeat himself. You know, I find it staggering. God only spoke to Adam and Eve one time. Don't touch that tree. He didn't write them a love letter. He didn't write them a paragraph. Don't touch, don't touch, don't touch. Read this 100 times. He told them one time, but yet he talked to Abraham a lot. He even finally said, Abraham, son, come on out here and step out of the tent. Let me show you something. So Abraham does. He says, son, you got so much doubt in you. Let me just tell you what to do. Look up. And he looked up and said, Abraham, what do you see? You see, God knew he had to paint a picture on Abraham's brain. But God didn't do that for Adam and Eve. God can do as he pleases. Notice what he says here. He blessed it, he broke it, and he gives it back. You can't outgive God. We were talking about this before the service this morning, and a man got mad at me on Facebook a while back, last year, whenever it was, because I was putting some things about prosperity. Did you know, I noticed if I post something on Facebook about prosperity, I have about 3 or 4 people to like it. Anything else, you have a bunch of people to like it. But you put something about money, that's preacher talking about money. I ain't going to listen to him. Well, you keep right on there and stay right in your state of brokenness. Let me tell you something. I used to be broke, busted, and disgusted myself. I'm no longer broke, busted, and disgusted. God has blessed my wife and I. He has blessed us tremendously. I could keep you here all day telling you. But you see, I had to practice what I'm preaching to you. Now, if you want to sit there with a smirk or tune me out because it's about money, then so be it and stay where you're at. But God, Jesus Christ, came to break the back of poverty. The very thorn that he used when they said, let's call him King of Kings, because that's who he says he is, King of the Jews. That thorn was made of a cursed bush. He bore the curse of poverty so you and I don't have to live there.
Amen. Amen.
Did you know money will make you happy? You can be so broke, busted, and disgusted and it's down in the dumps. And somebody give you a $20 bill and it'll light up your world. And it'll put a smile on your face. Whoever said money don't make you happy told a lie. They told a lie. Whoever said money won't make you happy had never had any. It's the God's honest truth. It's not what you got, folks. It's what's got you. Jesus said where a man's treasure is, there's his heart. There's his heart. So, you know what? I can go through life, and this ain't judgmental, based on Matthew 6:21. I can go through life. If I looked at the records of the church people who did and didn't tithe, I could go through life saying I know where their heart is and where their heart is and where their heart is based on their money, because Jesus said so himself. Where a man's treasure is, there's his heart. Ah, you're being judgmental, preacher. I'm quoting the word of God. If you want to call that judgmental, you're calling Jesus Christ himself judgmental. Because look at that, Matthew 6:21, where a man's heart is, there's his money. For God to get your heart, he's got to go through your money. Why? Because the love of money. I had one person post on Facebook, you know what to say, the love of money. The love of money. Money's the root of all evil. That's what he went on to say. I had to correct him. I said, no, it's not. No, it's not. Money is not the root of all evil. God uses money as a motivator to motivate you. Listen what Jesus said. Jesus said, I'm going to put the word if. It's not in Luke 6:38. I'm going to put the word if, but Luke 6:38. Give, comma, and it'll be given unto you. That's what Jesus said. Jesus, I didn't say that. Give and it shall be given to you. Giving qualifies you for getting. I have been broke, but I was so broke one time. I used to pastor outside of Charlotte in a little town called Long Shoals. It's about like Dudley, just a little crossroads area. And a nice church. Church that paid. In fact, I think it was probably my best paying church. Now that I think about it. But I'm not in it for money. But as a matter of fact, I didn't get run off of that church. I moved on my own. So you see, if I was in it for money, I'd have stayed at that church. That was the best paying church in all of my years. But you, God help us, you know, people need to get off this here kick, you know. I know that there's probably a lot of people out for money, but you're not looking at one of them. You know, I'll take what God's got for me. That's all I want, okay? Let me just set the record straight. I want what God's got for me, nothing more, nothing less. I want everything he's got for me, nothing more, nothing less. If God's got it for me, I want it. And guess what? God said the wealth and riches belong in my house. God said, beloved, I wish above all things that you would prosper. He said, what? He said, I wish above all things. He said, what? He said, I wish above all things. The top of my list. I asked a man one time, I said, do you want to please God? He said, yeah. I said, do you really want to please God? I'm serious. He said, yeah. A few seconds went by. I said, do you really want to please God? Made him a little agitated. Jesus did that to Simon Peter in chapter 20 of John. Peter, lovest thou me? Simon Peter, lovest thou me? Ask him 3 times. You know why he asked him 3 times? Because Peter denied him 3 times, and Jesus had to cancel out every negative word. Every negative word. You see, the negative word you're speaking into your life is keeping you busted and disgusted and keeping you beat down and in poverty. Finally, after the 3rd time, I said, do you really want to please God? He got a little agitated. He said, yeah, Pastor, you've asked me 3 times. Of course I want to pleasure God. You know what I said? I said, well, then prosper. Look at Psalms. I just couldn't think of the word Psalms. Look at Psalms 35:27. Oh, magnify the Lord, ye his saints. Let them shout for joy. Who has pleasure in the prosperity of his servants. God takes pleasure in the prosperity of your servants. And you know why? Because when you're prospering, That's saying, that's another way of God saying, that's my boy, that's my daughter, and they're walking in the light. They're walking in the Word. They're being obedient. Look at the prosperity in their life. They're pleasuring me, God, and therefore I'm able to prosper their lives, folks. That's what God desires. That's why God said, I wish above all things that you would prosper. Because He knows when you're prospering, you're pleasing me and being God. 5 loaves, 2 fishes. I want to get right down to it. Jesus said that they had no need to go away. Jesus said he got in a heavy-duty argument in chapter 6, 7, 8, and it begins to wind down in chapter 9 of the St. Gospel of John. There's a feud going on between Jesus and the Jews. I mean, if you'll read it, read it all the way through. There's about like 3 chapters in a row. They are at each other's throats. Sister, they're arguing. Jesus is letting them hold it, and they're letting Jesus hold it. Oh, you don't know Abraham. You're not even 50 years old, they said to Jesus. Jesus said back, you don't know it, but before Abraham was, I am. Well, good. You see, there was a feud taking place. Oh, bless God. But in chapter 6, Jesus said, except you drink of my blood and eat my body, you have no part with me. And that made a lot of them turned away. So you see, Jesus lost a bunch of people too. So if you've left the church here, I don't feel so bad, because even Jesus lost some. But finally Jesus turned to the 12 and he said, wilt thou go away also? Verse 68, Peter turned back to Jesus and said, Lord, to whom shall we go? Thou hast the words of eternal life. Where aren't you going to go to get what you want? Is quitting going to get you what you want? Will quitting satisfy you? Will quitting bless you and take you where you want to go? The answer is no, it will not. But don't quit. Dig in. Dig out. Hold on. Hold out. Believe God's word, and my God will prosper your life. Hallelujah to the Lamb of God. Obey God and do what He said. I got it closed. I'm trying. Somebody pray for me. 5 loaves and 2 fishes. We have here 5 loaves and 2 fishes. Why 5? Why 2? Why all these numbers? I'm going to wind it down with this. I've been fasting 40 days, 44 days. I'm sorry I can't keep my clothes on. I got to put suspenders on. I'm serious. Back in 08, I fasted 40 days with nothing but water and lost 51 pounds. Well, glory be to God. If you want God in your life, push the plate aside. You know, the plate's a lot of people's God. Peter said their belly was their God. My God pushed the flesh aside. Paul said, I am crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live. Yet not I, but Christ lives in me. And the life which I now live in the flesh, I live by the faith of the Son of God, who loved me and gave Himself for me. Hallelujah to the Lamb of God. Why 5, why 2, why 12, why these numbers? Let me just go through them real quick. Number 1. The number 1 is God, Elohim. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Elohim is the highest form of the word God that you can call God. E-L-O-K-I-M. That is the highest word in Hebrew, Greek. That's the highest word of what you can go in calling God who God is. Elohim. 1, there is one God. 2, the number of 2 means covenant. The number of 3 is the Trinity. God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost. Number 2 is covenant. Number 3 is the Trinity. The number 4 is the number of the earth. The number 4 is the number of the earth. Number 5, now we're getting to the message. The number 5 here, notice, oh, I feel the Holy Ghost. Oh, I feel the power of Almighty God. My. This, what you see, my friends, is a portrait of salvation. What you see is a portrait of prosperity. What you see is a portrait of Calvary. What you see is the cross. And the Spirit of God is right in the middle, ordaining it, orchestrating it, putting it through men. You don't believe that the Bible is the Word of God because man wrote it. Right here's living proof. A man could not have put this together. No way. There's no way a man could have done this. So now the number 5. The number 5 is the number of grace. Watch the picture. Watch the picture unfold in closing. Number 5 is the number 5. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 8. For by grace are you saved. By what? By grace are you saved through faith, and that not of yourself. That is lest any man should boast. It is a gift of God. It's by the grace of God you're saved. So there was 5 loaves. 5 is the number of grace. 6 is the number of man, by the way. Now we've got to go to number 7. I've got to hurry along. Number 7. The number 7 is the number for perfection and completeness. God completed everything, and on the 7th day, He said, I'm done. It is finished. I am happy. This is good. I like this. Is God looking at you and saying that? Or is He frowning on you because you're frowning upon a preacher that's trying to tell you how to get some money? Don't send it to me. I badly, you know, if I got a God. That's all you need to know. Because you need to have the same attitude. 2 is the number of covenant. So we got a 5 grace, 2 covenant. Add 5 and 2, you've got 7. 5 and 2 is the number of 7. The number 7 is completeness. So by the grace of God, we're fragmented and we're broken. Bring them hither. The Bible says Jesus took it. He broke it. The first thing God will do to you when you kneel at the cross is break you. And what I mean by that is He will just tear you down on the inside and get rid of the nasty, pull it out, uproot it, eradicate it, whatever He's got to do, and He'll pour in the healing oil, the healing balm of the blood of the Lamb of God. My son, you're covered with the blood. Oh, it'll cover you real good. You see, my God, have mercy. And then He heals you and brings you back a new creature. If any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. 1 Corinthians 5:7. Behold, all things are passed away, and all things will become new. You come to God one way, and you're going to leave another. If you don't, you did not meet God, you met an imposter. So 5 is the number of grace, 2 is the number of covenant. 5 plus 2 is 7. Now you are a broken, fragmented person. Now God's made you, perfected you. He's made you perfect inside, spirit world. I don't mean soul man. I don't mean perfect, living a life of perfection above sin. I don't mean that at all. I mean, God has cleansed you and washed you and set you apart for His own. Now, when they got done eating, let's read the scriptures real quick. I'm trying my best to hold. Bear with me, I'm going to close. They all did eat when they were filled. They took 12 fragments and that remained, 12 basketfuls. 20, verse 20. So now, there's 12. Why 12? Why didn't it be 9 or 10 or 11 or 14 or 13? 13 is the number of the unknown. That's why nobody likes the number 13. The number 13 means unknown. That's what the number 13. The number 14. Oh, I love it. You have to go home and study the Judaic numerology. It's incredible. It's incredible. Don't tell me there's not a God. Don't tell me He didn't author this book. You showed up too late. I said you showed up too late to tell me that my God didn't put this book together. He might have used 40 different men over the span of 1,600 years. But my God, you won't find an error in it nowhere. Even if God said, even if the word of the living God, hallelujah to His name. Why 12? Why 12? Why 12? Why 12? 12 is God's number of authority, power, and government. Remember Isaiah chapter 12 or chapter 9 verse 11 and 12? His name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Prince of Peace, Everlasting Father. And on His shoulders shall be my government, and of its ending there shall be no end. You see, so the number 12 is, so now God is saying, you're broken, by the grace of God, come to me, covenant with me through the blood of Jesus. Number 7, I'm going to make you whole. And then number 12, I will now govern your life and lead you right straight into prosperity. Right straight into supplying your every need. Right straight into supplying everything that you'll ever, you know, what a really lousy testimony most Christians have got. I gave him the Bible bill. I've been there as a preacher. I had my power turned off. I'll never forget it. I come home. I was pastor on the other side of, up toward the state line, way on past Rocky Mount, little town called Castalia. Pretty little church. Lived in the parsonage, but they couldn't afford the Bible bill, so I paid the Bible bill. Come home, flipped alone. No mobile phones. We're way out in the country. I mean, they had to pipe out in electricity. That's how far it is. And I had to go down there, and come way over to a convenience store and make a phone call because we had no phones. You see, I know what it's, but what a really bad testimony. My God's not broke. I'm sorry yours is.
Amen.
Come on now. It's tight, but it's right. God said, when I get done with you, I'm going to govern your life, and I'm going to lead you straight into prosperity. Remember Psalms 112, praise ye the Lord, blessed is the man that fears the Lord, like the great at his commands. Wealth and riches shall be in his house. My, folks, this is what God wants for your life. So now, 7 and 5 and 2, all these numbers coming together. Now, if you add them all up, 2 fishes, 5 loaves equals 7. 12 baskets full left over. You add them all together. You've got the number 26. I would like to challenge you to go home sometime today and type in, what does the number 26 mean? You'll be fascinated. And then don't tell me God didn't write that book. The number 26. The number 26. It goes on. I could keep you here all day just telling you what the number 26 means. Numbers 6, 26. The Lord will shine peace into your life. The Lord will grant you peace. David said, the Lord our God is the sun and his shield. Psalms 84, 10 and 11. The Lord our God is the sun and shield. He will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk upright before him. And you're living in what? You're living in such lack. You're living in such poverty. Don't stay there. You don't have to. But don't kick against the pricks like the Apostle Paul was accused of when he was Saul. Get out of that and realize God wants to promote you and move you forward. The number 26, it has elements of the number 8. The number 8 is the number of new beginnings. That's why we got a 7-day work week, and on the 8th day, it's a new beginning. That's why the number 8, you see, on the 8th day, the child was circumcised. You know, there's a lot to say about the number 8 as well, but the number 26, when you add all of these numbers together, and it comes up to the number 26, the number 26 has elements in it of prophecies, which is where we're at in a prophetic last day world. The number 26 also has elements of healing, restoration. In other words, you see everything that you'll need that points you back to Calvary. All in the number 26. God put that all together and orchestrated it just so that you and I would know what an awesome God he is and what he's capable of doing. You do not have to live work busted and disgusted. You can get out. It's a curse. You can't be a blessing to anybody. We are a small church. I'm going to say this and I'm going to close. Give me 1 minute and I'm going to close. We are a small church. We have moved from one location to another. We're now in a little freestanding building. But we have had so many people who come to us that needed help, that needed food, that needed clothing, a place to stay, that were in need. Well, we're a small church, so our funds are limited. So I go to my wife because I don't know how much money we got, and we have put people in motel rooms, we have fed children, we've taken people, whole families, to McDonald's to get them food, but a bunch of little kids are, they got this great big thing where you get like the tailgate, like Bojangles has got, McDonald's got one of them too with burgers and stuff. And I'm simply saying that for a reason. You can't be a blessing living in poverty. You can't help other people. Your riches and your prosperity isn't for you. I wish, I don't want to show off, but I wish I could just bring my journal and show you how many seeds we sow, how much money we sow out. Because, see, money don't have me. I got some money, but money don't have me.
Amen.
You see, so I've actually took out of my own pocket when the church couldn't afford it and add to it to help families. I'm saying that because if you're in poverty, you can't be a blessing to nobody. Why is it do you want to kick against God and kick against preachers that preach about prosperity and what God will do for you and how He'll prosper your life? You can't help other people. I'm going to say this and close. When you understand how important people are, money will become important to you. Money will become very important. People are God's greatest investment. So when you invest in people, you're investing in the very thing that God Himself invested in, which was people. God bless you. Would you stand with me, please? Hope it wasn't too long. Praise be to God. Praise